Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Tiffany, a retired librarian turned homeschool mom. And we are now filming in October, and it is actually October, because of course I'm behind, because I have a 5-year-old. And we just got back from vacation last week to Chicago. That will be another video. Okay, so moving on to our October space. So this is Space Cat and Kittens by Ruthven Todd and illustrated by Paul Galdone. First thing to know about this book is it was published in 1958. So, kind of setting the scene for what's going on. If you're not familiar with my channel, this is Kendra. She is 15. So this is in the middle of the space race, the very beginning. The reason I mention this is because they mention visiting Venus. Now, at that time, we were just barely getting out of the Earth's atmosphere, let alone sending satellites and things to other planets. You know, back when the surrounding planets wasn't full of dozens of satellites and other space junk, which is now a very, very big mess. But it was also a time where space travel and the interest in space travel was really the idea that anything was possible. So in this book, we talked about the characters. So the main one is, you have Flyball. He is the father. He was apparently the first cat in space to leave. First cat, I believe, to leave space. First cat to leave the Earth for the moon. He had been the first cat on Venus and on Mars. Again, 1958, we have no idea Mars is not greatly for inhabitation, that we could actually reach it, let alone that we couldn't really land on Mars without, melting. So, and that there was water on Mars, because then it talks about the mother is Mufa, was the last of the Martian fishing cats. Again, this is 1958. Apparently as red as a fire truck. So they have 2 kittens, Marty and Tailspin. Marty's the older of the 2. So this book does have black and white illustrations. So this is kind of an interesting, it's definitely kind of a fun read aloud book. So it talks about the kittens' antics because they live on the moon. But then Fred, who is the human companion of, I think the father's name here, Flyball, is going, they're basically doing interstellar travel to another solar system. So the kittens have to behave because, again, they cause problems because they're kittens and they get in all sorts of trouble. They've been to Earth. They don't really like Earth because their ability to bounce and leap is restricted by Earth's gravity. So they can do a little pounce on Earth as opposed to that same energy can send them doing much further. Actually, I think they're living on the moon, not Mars. Maybe they are on Mars. Yes. Let us see. Where were they? Yeah, they live on the moon, not Mars. So they don't particularly like Earth because of not as much gravity on Mars. And again, this was back when they thought they could colonize both Mars and the moon, let alone really easily get to other planets. Modern times. The science does not fit that. But they're going to be going on interstellar travel, and their human brings along Bill, who's another human because he can't pilot this spacecraft alone. So it goes through, their parents do threaten not to bring them along if they don't behave because they've caused all sorts of trouble. Their mother also likes to swim. That's the other thing. So they get on interstellar travel. They end up in, I believe it's the Kuiper Belt. Bring this to it. They were bringing them to the right place. Yes. They went to... The ship is called the Einstein, by the way. Cat's talking about being fine with free fall because the kittens are used to it. No, it's Alpha Centauri, which, yes, is an actual place. And they find a planet that's just like Earth, only it's inhabited by miniature prehistoric life. Other thing to remember, this is the 50s. We don't know as much about our prehistoric past as we do now. I'm not sure if this is around the same time as Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth. But it very much has that same feel to it. So they interact with large amounts of miniature pterodactyls and tyrannosaurs, and the kittens, they have a helicopter that works on this. So the kittens get out on, because they surround their compound with basically an electrical fence to protect them. So the kittens get out on the blade and get into mischief and end up getting chased by many tyrannosaurs and fall into an extinct crater. So then they have to be rescued. And there's also this whole thing of bringing back specimens. So that's the main, and then they get brought back and get yelled at for getting in trouble and nearly getting eaten by many tyrannosaurs. So, and then now at the very beginning of when they're on this planet, they interact with what is now a prehistoric horses, and the prehistoric horses come to join them. The only thing I find very interesting, again, time period, is that they do, the space guys do mention that once humans get here, everything's going to end up being extinct anyway. But it's like, this is not our problem for now. We are not going to try to destroy it, even though Bill kind of wants to bring along a shotgun to defend themselves. It's like, we're trying not to kill things before the scientists get at it, and then humans come and destroy it, which apparently is not these guys' problem. So, kind of an interesting comment. So, it's an interesting book. Again, it was written in 1958, so it is kind of, that's the reason I'm kind of recommending it for wide ranges. It could definitely be a read aloud over time, nighttime book, so like read a couple chapters. It's not that long. It's only about 92 pages long, so it's not very long, but it is a chapter book. You can see the size of the printing here. But it's enjoyable. It's cute. It's funny. If your kids like cats and space, it would be great. It's a very, again, it came out in 1958, so I'm not sure. It must be still in publication. But it's very interesting. It's also good if you want to read with the high schools, just not only because it's enjoyable, but also as a lesson almost in looking at how at the dawn of the space race, I mean, this is still just barely over 10 years after the end of World War II, what they thought of as space, where they thought, okay, we can visit and colonize Mars and Earth. They still thought there was liquid water on Mars because they didn't know any better. We hadn't gotten close. We hadn't really left the Earth. We barely left the Earth's atmosphere. I don't even know if we've left the Earth's atmosphere at this point. No, it was 58. My space knowledge off the top of my head is not perfect. But nonetheless, it's a step back to look at that time and how people and children were viewing space at the dawn of our space exploration. So it's cute, it's funny, it's a good look back in time, and it's a short little book. Again, it's like 92 pages, and there's pictures in it. So that's not necessarily 92 pictures of text. There are some like full-bodied photographs here. So you can see the two guys in the miniature pterodactyls, which again, the illustrations are, we were still at the point where we taught tyrannosaurs Oh, here's a picture. The kittens and the miniature horse. So why Tyrannosaurus still stood upright. Let me see if I can find, they do the picture of the Tyrannosaurus. Here's the kittens climbing out on the edge of the blade there, getting themselves into trouble. See, here's kind of the weird picture. They have the Tyrannosaur. That's back when we saw it. They stood like that. They don't. So, but nonetheless, it is a fun little book written a really long time ago, so it's very, very fanciful. And it's definitely a way to talk about history when you're talking about the early times of the space race and what people thought, as well as just kind of an entertaining children's book. So that is the end of this book review. If you like what you see, be sure to like and subscribe. I do have a lot of stuff. We are working on space in October. I'll probably either try to post this Monday or next. This is the 5th, so I'll either try to post it this coming Monday or the following Monday. I do have the last of our Beauty and the Beast picture books that are coming out, currently scheduled for Monday. And then Apollo 13 is scheduled for Friday. So I'm going to try to get through First Man and From the Earth to the Moon as well. So some of the Beauty and Beast media got put to the wayside, unfortunately. I do my best. Right now I have a very active 5-year-old who's having some issues. So, and thankfully she's not paying attention because she's on her tablet right now. So, because I'm filming it about 6:30 at night. So, like and subscribe, and be sure to check out the rest of the channel. I will be doing a bunch of space stuff this month of October, and then we will be moving into Diwali next month. Thankfully, I filmed all the books months ago. Just an FYI, if things look a little weird and different, I already did, those are already, the Diwali books were literally done, I don't remember when. So it was a while ago. So I'll look forward to that, and then we're going to be doing mysteries come December as I get things going. So thank you.